So the ballistic pendulum is a device that you'll use in your lab for collisions. Again, a fun device to use. You'll be doing a perfectly inelastic collision experiment, and you'll be doing a projectile experiment. It's quite adaptable, and it's a neat little tool. Elastic collisions. Okay, so now we've seen the other two. Let's see what the elastic collision is about. An elastic collision is one in which both momentum and kinetic energy are conserved. So this is the case where both are conserved. So let's look at two billiard balls. We're going to have a collision between two billiard balls coming at each other, different masses, different velocities, and let's see what goes on. So by conservation of momentum, we use the full-blown relationship. We have each of our MVs, 1, MV2, MV1, MV2. The individual kinetic energy for each, then, this is our 1/2 MV squared. So this would be our, what we saw before, kinetic energy 1, kinetic energy 2, etc. So we've got all of the initials on the left side, all of the finals on the right side. Okay, so we've taken the relationship for conservation of momentum, and then we have introduced the kinetic energy relationships. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some manipulating here so that we can solve for these types of problems. The first thing, just like we did before with the masses, we can cancel out the 1/2s. So we're removing all of the 1/2s, and we're going to rearrange the terms. And what we're going to see is it's going to kind of look like what we've got on top here for conservation of momentum. So now we have mass 1, velocity initial 1 squared, plus mass 2, velocity 2 initial squared, and the same thing on the other side, but finals. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull together all of the mass 1, velocity 1 relationships to the left side, and all of the mass 2, velocity 2 relationships to the right side. When I do this, you can see that now I can extract my mass 1 from the left side. I can factor out my mass 2 from the right side. Okay, again, recalling from algebra, now a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b times a plus b. Okay, these are some of your relationships that you should have learned in algebra. And then we're going to factor the terms v squared. Okay, so we're going to use that relationship such that now we have M1, V1 initial minus V1 final, V1 initial plus V1 final, and do the same thing to the other side. And we're doing this, I mean, right now it seems like just like we're doing a bunch of needless steps. When you do this stuff, you have to look forward and determine, what do I want the outcome to look like? So now what we're going to do is we're going to separate the terms M1 and M2 in the conservation of momentum. Okay, so we're back to the first relationship. So there is our relationship. We are putting all of the M1s on one side, on the left, all of the M2s on the right. Okay, again, let's factor out M1, factor out M2, and now we are going to divide into the previous expression. Okay, so we're going to take our terms here and we're going to divide M1 V1 initial minus V1 final on the left, M2 V2 final minus V2 initial on the right into that expression. And so when we do, you can see that things start simplifying. You can see all of this in the numerator matches all of this in the denominator. So it cancels out. All of this in the numerator matches all of this in the denominator. It cancels out. So you can see what we're doing. We're manipulating this to get this into the simplest form where we can put the two relationships together. So now we've simplified everything we've done at this point down to V1 initial plus V1 final equals V2 initial plus V2 final. So this gives us an expression now for solving the elastic head-on collision, okay? So now what we did was moved our terms around again, V1 initial minus V2 initial, all the initials on the left, V1 final minus V2 final, all of those on the right, and as a negative term. So now we have, let's go back here. Now we have a relationship that we can use to solve these types of problems. So let's look at a problem here. Two billiard balls move toward each other. The balls have identical masses, and we'll assume that the collision between them is elastic. If the initial velocities of the balls are 30 centimeters per second and minus 20 centimeters per second, what is the velocity of each ball after the collision? Okay, this is a quite involved problem that you can see, because we're going to go through and do and solve as far as we can. Then we're going to have to do some simultaneous equations. So we're going to say mass 1 equals mass 2 equals mass, because we weren't given anything. Well, yes, we were. We were told that we had identical masses. So that simplifies the problem. So all of this second term here then just becomes mass, 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 mass. And because we did that, we can remove it. What you do on the left, you could do on the right. So now the relationship is just velocity, 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 velocity. So we know what happens before. We were given the values of the velocities before. We want to find the velocities afterwards. So when we plug in our numbers, we end up with 10 centimeters per second is equal to velocity 1 final plus velocity 2 final. Okay, kinetic energy is conserved. So now we can go back to that relationship that we solved for a slide or two back. Okay, so we've got this relationship that looks a lot like what we have up here. So now I can put in those initial values again into this relationship. 30 centimeters per second minus a minus 20 meters per second is equal to everything on the final side. And now I have 50 centimeters per second. Okay, so now I can then solve simultaneously for my unknowns. So velocity 1 final plus velocity 2 final is 10 centimeters. That's what we solved for over here. Velocity 2 final then is equal to 10 centimeters per second minus velocity 1 final. So we're just moving our terms around so that we can get one so that we can solve in terms of another. And then for the second set of equations, then we have velocity 2 final minus velocity 1 final is equal to 50 centimeters. Okay, so now I can take and substitute for velocity 2 final into this relationship. And you can see that's what I did right there. There it is. I plugged it in for velocity 2. And now I only have left velocity 1 final as my unknown. So now I have 2 velocity 1 final is equal to 10 centimeters per second minus 50 centimeters per second, which gives me minus 40 centimeters per second. Okay, divide through by 2 on both sides, I get velocity 1 is equal to minus 20 centimeters per second. So now I can take that value, stick it back in the relationship up here, and I have velocity 2 is equal to, or velocity 2 minus a minus 20 centimeters per second equals 50 centimeters per second. Combine my terms, move them around, and I get velocity 2 final 30 centimeters per second. Okay, so you can see what happened was when the balls hit and went the opposite direction, basically they traded sides. Okay, so what was 30 is now 20. What was 20 is now 30. Long process. This is one I would suggest you go back through and work it by hand. Look at what I've given you here and try to understand the manipulations as I've presented them to you. All right, this is another complex problem that requires some boundary relationships. So again, we'll stop here.